Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today is the day. It is the final episode and installment of History of Horror. It is the final installment for now, I should say. I will probably keep this going, but I'm gonna give myself some time off because researching and doing the makeup for these videos is a lot. It takes a lot of effort and I want to have the time to dedicate it to it and make the next set even better than this set. So I am going to finish this series with our modern horror, kind of dystopian thriller series, The Purge. This is my favorite scary / psychological movie. I love this series. I have seen them all. I didn't watch the show, but I heard it's not as good as the movies, so maybe I'll get to it at some point, but I am so excited to talk about these because we have a lot to talk about. So this is a dystopian horror action series. It's a lot, but I promise it is worth it. And it's all produced by Universal Studios, which is who we started this series with, producing our old school horror movies, and now they are producing our modern classics. So the first Purge came out in 2013, but it takes place in 2014. And at this point in time, there has been a social revolt and a massive recession that has basically ripped the United States to shreds. And in turn, a totalitarian government takes over known as the New Founding Fathers. They create a police state and they also enact the Purge, which is a 12-hour period from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. on March 21st to the 22nd. There are no emergency services available. Political officials are off limits depending on, there's like a tier system, depending on what tier they're on. You cannot use weapons of mass destruction. You cannot use explosives, and any violation of these rules of the Purge will result in a public hanging. So that's the whole basis of this night. It is basically for everyone to release pent-up aggression and steam that they have in them from their normal everyday lives. They get 12 hours a year to go out and murder and rob and loot and burn and destroy whatever they want. And in this society, unemployment is at an all-time low. Crime is at an even lower rate than anyone has ever seen before, and they attribute it all to the Purge and the New Founding Fathers. Oh, and population is like at the perfect level. Like all is great and perfect, but not really. So in the first movie, we're introduced to a wealthy family who sells security systems specifically for the Purge. They purge-proof your house so no one can break in, no one can steal your stuff, but the only people who can afford these are super rich people. So, you know, the lower income neighborhoods are still under attack and they are not able to protect themselves in any way, shape, or form, which is exactly how the government in this movie wants it. So their security system fails and the family comes under attack from their neighbors. There is a rich hunting group, that would be the people with the creepy plastic masks, that come to their door because they're looking for a homeless man that the son of this family has hidden in their house before the hunting party could kill him, and he is going to try and save him. The daughter's boyfriend ends up being locked in the house and causes some trouble for them too. And basically it's just the family trying to survive the night, and it gets dramatic, it gets scary, because they're basically being hunted in their own home with these rich people here, and they're looking for this homeless man, and it gives you that moral dilemma of, do we give up this man so that they will leave us alone, or do we protect him because it's the right thing to do? And during these times, morality and what's right and what's wrong are very, very skewed. And that movie has probably one of my favorite endings. It is so iconic. Basically the dad gets killed, and this is, you know, spoilers for the end of the movie. The dad gets killed by the daughter's boyfriend because he doesn't want him seeing his daughter anymore. And at the end of it, the mom has lined up all the neighbors who have tried to kill them, and they continue trying to kill them. And basically the mom just turns into a complete badass and is like, there's no more killing tonight. And one more, you know, she's kind of a Karen, tries to attack her, and the mom slams her face with the butt of a shotgun and into a table and says, "I told you there'd be no more killing tonight." And then the purge sirens go off, the purge is over, and the neighbors just go back to their houses as if nothing happened. Yeah, it's a creepy ending, but very good. So the second movie came out in 2014, and it has nothing to do with the first plot. I think this was supposed to be a one and done kind of movie, but it did really well in the box office. But people wanted to see more of like, what's the purge like for people who are out on the street who are actually purging. So that's what we see in the Purge: Anarchy. It's set in LA, and we see people out in hunting groups, and there's people out for revenge. That's where we get the people who had the white masks on that said like God on the top, and they were just like basically killing at random. And we also find out that the government, it has killing squads going out into low-income apartment buildings and killing off whole floors of people. They have big trucks where they go out and they, just mow down groups of people who are out and about because they want to kill people that don't contribute to their version of society, of what they want. So homeless people are killed. Those are mostly who are killed during the purge. And then those low-income people who can't afford protection for themselves. And in this, we see Frank Grillo plays a dad whose son was killed during a DUI accident, but he ends up meeting up with a couple whose car has broken down and they're being chased by a hunting group. And he helps them, get to where he needs to go and also get them away from these people. And you see if he actually gets revenge on the guy who killed his son. So there's another moral dilemma there. And this one was definitely more action and more like jump scary, with people jumping out of different like sewers and alleys. And there's a clown scene that freaked me out. But yeah, this one definitely gives you more of that horror, spooky, like this is what the purge is like on the streets vibe. And we also see some of the same characters from the first movie. The homeless man who the family ended up saving is actually in the second movie as well. And we see what he's doing now that someone took mercy on him, how he's trying to help people like himself get through the purge and survive the night. But then 2016 happens and we get the Purge election year, which was probably one of the most timely movies to ever come out ever. And I know they did it like that on purpose. However, it was genius. There is a senator running for president, and her platform is that she wants to end the purge because her family was killed on purge night and she's the only survivor. And they show the scene and it is so sad and so disturbing. And honestly, like kind of traumatized. Like you can understand why that would traumatize someone. But she is trying to end the purge. That's her whole platform, and she's gaining a lot of steam. A lot of people are agreeing with her that it's wrong that low-income people are being affected by this more than rich people. So the new founding fathers decide they're going to lift all restrictions on political officials not being purged and basically put a price on her head because they want her killed so that they can continue their vision and that they want the purge to continue. And the dad from the second movie is her head of security, so we get to see him again. We see a lot more people out on purge night, like what gangs do during the purge. There's like a weird fight club scene where they're like fighting with battle axes. It is very good, and again is very gritty, and we see people from the second movie show back up in the third movie. And you actually see these people in the fourth movie too, which was the First Purge that came out in 2018. So this is a prequel. This is the very first Purge, how it became what it became, basically. So you find out that it was actually supposed to be a psychological experiment put out by a psychiatrist who is trying to say that if you give people free reign for 12 hours a year, it would make everything better, it would fix a lot of problems and relieve a lot of people's anger issues. However, when the purge starts, they only keep it to Staten Island, not Long Island, and they pay people to participate in the purge. But a lot of people just decide they're going to go out, they're going to smoke, they're going to drink, they're going to party in the street with no consequence, and the government doesn't like it. People aren't getting killed enough, they're not killing off the people they want killed off, so they end up killing off the psychiatrist who came up with the whole idea and taking over the experiment and saying, send these people out. these police squads, these, like militant groups, send them out and kill them. And they also release this crazy guy who just got out of jail, and he puts like syringes on his knuckles and stabs people with them. So yeah, but you also find out how some of the other groups come to be that actually protect the poor people in all the neighborhoods. So there's actually another Purge movie coming. The Forever Purge is coming out this July. It was supposed to come out in 2020, and the tagline was "Keep America Great." So yeah, obviously they were playing to a certain audience there, but because of COVID, everything got pushed back. But now it will be coming out in 2021, one way or another. Now I want to briefly talk about the Purge TV show, because it's part of the timeline, but it's not. So it came out in 2018 and was on through 2019. There were only 2 seasons, and each season was only like 10 episodes. It's all based on stuff going on during the Purge, but it is a heist-based series. So, like I said, I haven't watched it. I have watched all the movies. So I don't know how much the Purge plays into it. Like, they're trying to create a heist, but also survive the night. But I guess it doesn't line up with any of the stuff in the movie other than it taking place during the Purge. But yeah, that is it. I really like the Purge. I think it's a great movie series, especially seeing, side characters become main characters in other movies, seeing how, it basically cements that idea that no matter what a government's vision is, if it's a totalitarian kind of police state, the people will always try and overcome it in some way or another to do what's right, and that humans do have good morals. But it's that kind of like, even when humanity is at its lowest, people still have that innate behavior to want to do good and do better. So I think it's just one that really plays with your mind, and this will be fun. So let me know down below if the Purge was a real thing, which I feel like we're getting closer and closer to it every day. Would you purge or would you stay home? I know, it's a fun question. My brain is like, oh, I would go purge and do whatever I want, but I think I would just go like steal clothes from somewhere, like something, mundane like that. Like, I'm not trying to murder anybody, but then you have to think like maybe I'll get killed because I'm just out. So yeah, I'd probably hunker down, let's be real. But that is it for History of Horror. Thank you so much if you watch all of these videos. If you haven't, the playlist is linked up above so you can watch them all. And stick around and stay tuned, because the next section of the series will be coming at some point. So I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.